Hello everyone, Bashar here. So we are together with another build guide. So you might remember that I have a pretty good character and I am already farming temple. So and the thing is, knowing GGG, I think that's gonna get axed, right? Next season it will probably be unplayable, knowing GGG. So I tried to get myself a nice new season starter. So I thought about the negative rarity ritualist. So the tiering here is going to be a little bit weird because this character exists as an idea, right? Before went to the reference. You equip Vanters to reduce your rarity. You use Ingenuity to further amplify that negative rarity, and you use a Ritualist for the third ring slot and the 25% bonus. And you can rack up to about 100% negative rarity. All right, now I think I'm on 95. We are gonna get to this move. 95. People are saying that 100 is a breakpoint. So what's this about? So the thing is, guys, as I said, that's the idea, right? The build that you do is entirely up to you, whatever you want to do. So sorry. I have a lot of decent gear for playing Spark, custom critical comet sort of stuff. So I was feeling lazy and I was also feeling a bit of a cheap ass. So I transferred the gear. If the gear feels familiar to you, right, from my other build, it's the same chest, it's the same helmet, it's the same weapon, right, and it's the same amulet. And the amulet is of course extremely bad for this build because it's giving me rarity with the implicit. That's why I just removed it. So this brings me down to something along the lines of 72 or something. Normally I'm at negative 95, right? Let's take a look. Yeah, negative 72. So guys, two Vanters, right? One Calandra's Touch, and obviously you are going to use the better Vanters that you have. And then Ingenuity are a bit of a must. Obviously the resistances will be a huge problem to handle because they are going to get amplified by 25% thanks to the Ritualist ascendancy. They are going to get mirrored, so the negatives can get multiplied very nastily. I think I have managed it though. I have managed it. Also, the Ingenuity is going to further amplify. There is a fellow called Mr. Nine Lives. You might have heard of him. So he has a calculator for this. I would, come up with all of this stuff on my own, but I have invested so little effort, and I think I'm about to give up. So that's why, I'll just refer you to him. He also has a filter, which you could use, which needs a ton of work. I don't mean to be, ungrateful or dissing him, but it needs a lot of work. Right? I just tried it in a temple. It was terrible. My screen was full of loot. And you would say that's a good thing. No, that's not a good thing because it was not showing me the proper basis, but a ton of garbage on the ground, right? It has to be refined a million times over. Yeah. But sadly, guys, I'm not able to give you a proper filter this time around because it was just feeling like too much work. The mindset of mankind. I have something that's much more powerful and that generates much more currency on the side, and I bear through the campaign, but yeah, I just couldn't stand to build the temple from scratch. We are gonna get to that. Do not let me distract myself. So what do we have? We have a nice stuff here. We have a vertex here. We have an Alt-City here. We have chaos inoculation, obviously, as you can see. And of course, one of these slots is useless here, as you can see, because I have a chaos resistance. But I didn't want to mess the main stuff up. We use negative 22% Vanters here. And we use another negative 22% here. If I were to use a negative 23%, I would have gone up to 97% in negative rarity, not including this one, right? So I obviously has replaced this, but it is pretty good. So I just wanted to see how the build goes first. And if it was satisfactory, I was going to go ahead, and it wasn't satisfactory. So I'm not going to say it's bad, right? So the tiering is going to be a little bit hard. I would say this is a very good season starter because at the beginning of the season, everyone wants to craft stuff. So eye level 82, Sekima's handles, eye level 82, Siren Scale gloves, eye level 82, Vile Robe. That sort of stuff is popular, right? And I'm not talking about the exceptional ones. I'm talking about regular stuff, right? They sell they sell insanely fast in the early season. So that is one of the things that has given pause, right? Season is kind of dead. We have barely 10,000 people playing, and they still sell, right? But pretty slow. And as I said, I didn't have the heart in me to build another temple from scratch. That was going to yield less profits. And another problem is with this character, guys. You pick a ton of loot, right? You pick up the level 82 onset rings, you pick up the gold rings, you pick up the Sekima's handles, you pick up the, I don't know, chiming staff. There is a ton that you need to pick up, and your inventory fills very quick, right? And GGG are a bit of problematic people. So the temple can close upon you fait accompli, right? It can force close on you, especially if you have people with you, right? I don't know how those people manage to not break their temples, but I don't think that's a risk I would be willing to take. Because, guys, imagine you do if you have a proper temple, you will do like 3 rooms, 4 rooms, you will be full, step out, and every single time it's a risk, right? The temple door might be close to you. Yeah, so there is also that as well. But it's a very nice season starter because you'd be, printing money. And I don't even get into the 2-socket exceptional Sekima sandals and whatnot, right? They are insanely expensive. They still are like 1/6 of a mirror or something, right? But earlier in the season, they are maybe even a mirror level. I don't want to exaggerate, but it's very expensive, right? At least half a mirror, probably more. Right? Also goes for the 3-socket obliterator bows, right? So the best bases, exceptional with additional socket, are very expensive on eye level 82. So how does this play? And I know I haven't gotten into the build, but as I said, this is an idea rather than a build. So you go to the temple, and at level 90, your temple will hit level 81, right? The monsters inside will be level 81. And while normal and magic monsters drop the loot that is the same with the area level, right? But rare monsters will be dropping 1 level above the area level, and unique monsters will be dropping stuff that is 2 levels above the area level, right? The 2 levels is not important for us because 83 and 82 don't make a difference, with the exception of Flush, I think. But 82 is what we want, right? And that means every single rare is going to drop 82, which is insane, right? Because we will be getting those precious bases, right? And so what does negative rarity do? So first of all, where does negative rarity come from? Only from Vanta's Gamble, as far as I know. There is no other method of getting negative rarity. So you need to get yourself some Vanta's Gamble. So what does it do, guys? Just like rarity boosting the quality of the loot, right? So for example, when you get a magic item, if you have enough rarity, it can become a rare, right? It can even become a unique, right? The currency can become something more valuable. And with negative rarity, we have the exact reverse. Instead of dropping a magic item, the monster would be dropping a normal, right? Or instead of dropping a rare, it's going to drop a normal. So the higher negative rarity that you have, the higher your chances of getting white items be, right? But the important thing is, rares obviously have a higher quality loot table, and it's not easy to get rares to drop white items, right? Normal items. So you have to have a decent amount of negative rarity. People are saying negative 60 is one of the first important milestones that you need to hit, which is rather simple. So these Vanters, right? Okay amount of resistance, negative 22 rarity, right? You have to add up the implicit and the explicit. These are around, let's say, 100, 150 divines these days. Negative 23, that's about 2000 divine, and negative 24, which is perfect, is mirror level, right? and you would be lucky to get them on a mirror, right? More like double mirror or some such, right? Very expensive, because that's perfect, and that's generally how you hit 100 negative rarity. Obviously, your atlas should not have any rarity. So, for example, I had this stuff, I had to spec away from them. You don't want anything that gives you rarity in your temple. So the Xantippe medallion is a little bit dangerous, right? Because it can provide you with rarity. Alchemy lab is out of the question. So you want, more rares, more pack size, that sort of stuff, but never rarity, because that would counteract our plan of getting the thing. So what to use? As I said, I did have the gear ready for cast on critical spark comet, so I went for that. But obviously, when you are not playing a blood mage, your critical is going to be low. Why? Because spark has a 9% base crit, and with blood mage, everything has a 15% chance base crit. So it's very easy to hit. Well, it's, let's say, easy, not very easy, but it's easy to hit 100% critical chance with blood mage. That's not the case with other classes. So you sacrifice a little bit of damage and go for pinpoint critical, because spark has to crit, so we can build up energy on the cast on critical, right? Let's take a look at the situation here. 86.11%, not bad. In cast on critical, we have Comet, we have Zenith. I'm not very sure about this, but the mana cost efficiency is a bit of a must. You'll see my passive tree. We have a lot of cost reduction. Diala's Desire, that's to save some spirit and, give additional levels. And finally, again, pinpoint critical. And Comet has a 13% base critical, so it actually has hit 100%. Right? Comet is 100%, but the critical damage is awful. As you can see, I have Blink, I have Mana Remnants, so mana is a problem. Siphon Elements for the infusions, and Frost Wall for activating those pesky mechs in the temple. And also you can use it, so I had this the other day, you can use it to kill monsters behind doors. Sometimes this happens with Alchemy Labs. When you hit it, a comet is going to fall, and it can actually fall behind the door, killing the monsters, and so you can move on. Anyway, let's not get sidetracked. I have these in Spark. I have Blink here. I have Mana Remnants here. I have Siphon Elements for the thing. Yeah, I went over this. So Catalyst Rejuvenation is an option, but Catalyst Rejuvenation also increases the amount of spirit reserved by 20%. So it adds 6 more reservation, and I have 2 more. I can do that once I upgrade this Venters, right? It's only 1 spirit. If I upgrade it, then I can do that Catalyst. Yeah. On the gloves, I have resistances, critical strike, damage bonus, and mana. Mana is a bit of a problem, so you have to invest a little bit in mana. I have been able to overcome it, but it was tough. The other option is just to emulate the other build altogether, right? The Blood Mage, you just go with a Covenant, and you go for Blood Magic. But Blood Magic is very much, in the opposite direction where you would like to go, right? So what you do is you go for the jewel that allocates you blood magic, but that always has very nasty downsides. Yeah, one of my negative rarity findings, guys. And so what you do is you want to use the jewel. I forget the name, and it has very nasty downsides like. Let me find it for you. Flesh something? Flesh Crucible, maybe? I think I got it. Let me just check it quick. Flesh Crucible, yeah, I did get it, right? So the problem with that item is, guys, it has very annoying downsides, right? And the blood magic ones are pretty expensive. So something with an acceptable downside was in the neighborhood of 2000 divine, and I decided I don't want to invest 2000 divine, so I tried to emulate it on my own. I tried to make it work with mana. You'll see in a moment. I think I managed. Mana Remnants helps. We don't have any sort of leech, so we use 1 jewel with 2% mana on kill. We do the little trick of getting Laviana. This Laviana works, by the way. It does look like it's not working. I recorded the short for this. The trick is to use Wastegate. You know, the replacement that's the drops instead of the Headhunter. You're like, oh my god, Headhunter, and it's a Wastegate, right? So Wastegate allows you to equip any sort of flask. Let me just go over it very quickly. Wastegate comes here. Wastegate goes there, right? And let's say I have some sort of life flask here. So that's my normal situation, right? Without the Wastegate. That's my normal situation. So I equip the Wastegate, right? I put the Laviana go on, right? And then I go back to the... And it does show it like this. But still, it works. Let me show you. Take a look at my mana regen. Where is it? See? It does get added up, right? 37.5 from Lavianga, and it does get added up. So that's a nice tech, especially when you are using Chaos Inoculation, because the mana, the life flask does not really do anything for you. As for charms, we have Freeze, we have Stun, and we have the Slow. We get the best Ingenuity that we can. The Ingenuity will have breakpoints. This is in the neighborhood of 200, 250 divine. So we have a nice glove, and finally we have a nice boots to sort our resistances. So with this, I have my resistances maxed out. I have about a 100k spark tooltip damage, and the comet was 400k, 500k. We'll be getting the fire infused every once and then, thanks to siphon elements, but you know, it's not going to be as consistent as it is with living bomb. Let me grab a map here and show you how it goes.
Good news for you.
And we have our regular mana flask to use. I know it's annoying, but it's better than paying 2000 divine in a character.
Wait.
What am I doing?
Take this.
As you can see, the mana is fine though. It's okay at least. I think I have used the mana flask just once. The Levianaga helps, right? We have a lot of mana regen. We have a lot of cost efficiency. That's the temple energy there. Okay. Oops, what did I do? Where's the fine fella? It's not here. Okay. Should be in this direction then. What? To the north then? That's a weird map. Okay, that's it? No. Oh my god, where is it? Bro.
Do not fret. I will make this quick.
Wait.
Okay. This is very out of place for this map. Weird. Wow. Wow, what a positioning. Oops. I did panic a little bit. Okay. That was a little bit bad. The blink has too far range, and I just moved out. But as you can see, we are totally chaos immune, bleed immune, right? Thanks to chaos inoculation, and we have 11k energy shield, and that could obviously improve. The boots doesn't really have all that much energy shield. The glove is okay, I think. The gloves can go upwards of 200, but mighty expensive. So yeah, normally I just put up a random map here. You don't want to put up a random map. You want to put a map without any rarity on it. So, the omen that gives you pack size and whatnot will take away all the rarity on the item. So that's going to help with that. And because the bases that are eye level 82 that are the most valuable, you generally wanna hit monster level 82 in there, right? You want the normal monsters to be able to drop something valuable for you. So how is that achieved? So guys, map monster level is decided with 64, right? That's the base, plus the map tier, right? Plus 1 from irradiated if it's there, and that's it, right? So the way to achieve 82 is 64 plus tier 16 map, that's 80, right? And irradiated, then that's level 81, and then the rays would be dropping 82 level bases for you, right? The bosses will be dropping them even in tier 15 because they have plus 2 levels. But how do you achieve normal monsters dropping stuff that you want for you? So you might have noticed in cleansed and in corrupted areas, sometimes there is a modifier in the maps that gives you plus 1 level to the area. Do we have it anywhere here? No. Yeah, but it does happen. Let me try to find one. Nope. I did save these just in case someone needs XP, but we have the temple. Yeah, I did save these all. So yeah, it can happen. You just see a plus 1. Whoa, dude, 150%. That's perfect. I saved so many of these. So guys, so you can't double dip here, right? You find a corrupted area, right? You take a look at plus 1 monster level in the area, right? The corrupted maps. You do them all with a tier 16 map and irradiation, right? Irradiated tablet. So that's going to be eye level 82. So the entire map is going to be capable of dropping eye level 82 maps, right? But you have to be careful that your tier 16 map does not have any rarity in it. So how do you obtain eye level tier 16 maps? You can just do the old ploy of elk, double exalted, then do the omen and corrupt it yourself. You will have approximately 1 in 8 chance for it to be upgraded into tier 16. That's it. Or you could buy it from other players. So the way that you go about this is going to be very time consuming to craft them yourself. So you could buy them. They would be about a little above a divine, I think. I'm not very sure. So if it feels profitable, just buy it, and it should, right? Because you are going to be very specialized in this. Negative rarity, eye level 82 map. You would be getting bases left and right, and you will just leave, dump the stuff, and then go back to what it is you were doing. So guys, why do I not stress the build too much, right? But the character, because the thing is, this build is an idea. So whatever is strong, you go for it, right? Because in season 5, we don't know what's going to be strong, right? There is a very good feeling that Spark might get axed because it has been around since season 1, right? It has been always used as a delivery mechanic for cast on critical. Maybe they'll do something about it. So the general idea is, just go anything that kills at an okay rate, right? And that doesn't die. As I said, the idea is to farm the stuff. I mean, let me show you if I have a little bit. Just a very little bit though. Yeah. So these are eye level 82 set rings. That's an eye level 82 wild robe. As you can see, about half a divine. Yeah, I have 2 of these. I had some more stuff here. Let me see. I played, very little. Yeah, that's the best energy shield glove. Eye level 82 again. And guys, if these actually become exceptional, the price goes insane, right? It's gonna be many, many, many divines. So for example, the boots, eye level 82, 2 sockets, white. It's about 1,500 divine even these days, right? So about the tree we go for Mystic Attunement, obviously, right? Additional ring slot and 25% increased bonus from rings and amulets, which means we can hit the negative 100% rarity theoretically, because other classes, there's just no way, right? I mean, the best you can get is negative 24% rarity from 2 Ventus, and that's going to add up to 48%, right? You mirror it, that's negative 48%. I mean, huge difference, right? 3 rings, and I mean, it can go a little bit better with ingenuity, actually, but you are going to cap at somewhere near 60 or something. This guy can go, or this gal can go negative 100, so there's a difference. Yeah, I'm not very sure about this. Actually, this is pretty wrong, right? I just realized. Yeah, I should let this go and I should grab movement speed and as the vice president. Yeah, definitely that. Yeah. At that point, I was thinking about doing blood magic. Yeah, that's a mistake. Let me just immediately rectify this. This is a little bit funny. Okay, thank you very much. I don't have life. It's a little bit pointless. Okay, let's go blood boil. That's not too bad. And we go for this one. Why do we go for this one? So you can definitely go for ritual sacrifice. The reason I went for this is, guys, we get +1 charm slot from the campaign, and by getting an additional charm slot from this, we can actually buy the 1 charm slot ingenuities, right? Because the price goes insane when you ask for 2 slots, right? The price drops a lot when you ask for just 1. So you don't care about the implicit, right? Because we have +2 charm slots. So we don't care if it's 1, right? Because it's going to get to 3, right? That makes a huge currency save. So that's just to save currency here. This one, right? There's that. And we go for evasion, energy, that sort of. We go for a lot of crit nodes. And most importantly, we go for a ton of cost efficiency, regenerate, because mana is a huge problem, right? We have 1 jewel with 2% mana on kill. This one, yeah. And what we want is spell damage, crit chance, crit damage, that sort of thing. Yeah. So yeah, we go for all sorts of energy shield stuff. We go for chaos inoculation. Yeah, lots of crit chance, lots of and so you might wonder if this is useless. It's not useless because all sorts of conversion are done immediately. So we do get energy shield out of this, right? So I have like something like 1,500 life, and that converts like 75 life to energy shield. Then it gets set to 1 with chaos inoculation. There's the jewels. Yeah, so that's about it for the skill tree. I think I'm like level 95 now. If I were to level a little bit more, all the way up to 100, I would go for this, right? Additional remnants, because, gives me more. We also have this keystone. That's important. Sorry, I skipped this. So, guys, we create lightning infusions thanks to Spark, and those lightnings get turned into cold, which means Spark is going to actually infuse itself, right? Thanks to siphon elements, right? Because when we shock, it's going to create a cold infusion instead of lightning, and Spark uses cold infusion. And Comet is going to create fire infusions, and that means Comet is going to infuse itself. So this gives us the chance to, everything is going to infuse themselves, right? There's that. So there is an additional chance of remnants, which helps us with mana remnants and infusions as well. So it's pretty good. So if I were to level up to level 100, I would go there. I would maybe cut this one to go there a little bit faster, right? Like level 99 or something. Yeah, so this is a passing build, right? And yeah, you do have a mana flask here. That's about it. If you have any questions, guys, feel free to ask. But as I said, the comet part is not important. The idea of this build is important. It is very strong starting in the season. So the build it's not the build itself that it's strong, right? The idea is very strong because everyone is going to look for bases, and as far as I've heard, your screen literally gets full from the notifications. Because why, guys? Time is money, and when you are doing this, you are going to get a lot of pages, right? Pages and pages long. That means you are going to, let's say, have 20 eye level 82 energy shield gloves. And most people just don't want to buy one by one, right? They just want to buy in bulk so they can get to crafting. And so even if you are asking a little bit higher than what's the market price, let's say, you are asking, let's say, 200 exalt of instead of 150, they will just come and buy it all from you, at one point. So there's that. So this could be a really nice season starter. But as I said, I do not, fully recommend the Spark version. We will have to see what we are gonna get to, right? And the video is getting a little bit long. So what am I going to do with this, right? I'm just going to give it up because the idea of building a fresh temple from scratch, yeah, is a bit intimidating to me. And what's more is, guys, I have taken a look at the negative rarity people, and they don't really have a proper temple layout, right? So I want this thing to be, properly laid out, right? I don't want a second tier something when I have something that's going on for me that's perfect, right? I do have a perfect temple on the Blood Mage, and this is not very well done, right? People are using Alchemy Labs, for example. You cannot really lose Alchemy Labs in a negative rated temple. Why? Because it's going to give you rate and it's going to screw you, right? I mean, I am paying thousands of divines just so that I can lose one rarity on the Ventus. I'm not going to get 15% from a building, and it's not even 15%, it's 50% on a tier 3 Alchemy Lab. And the other variants I was able to find were horrible beyond logic and reason. 4 chains going on at the same time. I don't know what's going on there. That's not possible to maintain, right? I mean, I do have a perfect temple that has 2 chains, and you can, let's say, barely maintain it, right? The unlucky runs that, close on, not unlucky, but, GG's fault. So I would say you wouldn't be even able to maintain a 3-chain temple, let alone a 4-chain. So, that gave me pause as well. And as I said, I have a very good character that can print divines, but I'm glad I have learned this, right? So this is out there, and yeah, I think it's a very nice season starter. Obviously, if it remains the way it is, we can just start Blood Mage, right? But I doubt it very much. They have been known to axe the top builds every single time. So that's that, and let me know what you think, and I'll see you guys in another video. Bye bye.